Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Some might have gotten the PDFs. Does everybody here who's watching have the PDFs? We're going to be working from stick control book, triplet fill-ins, like I did this afternoon. Okay. I'm going to wait for the at least one person get into the chat so I could start the lesson. Hey, how are you, Mr. Otterson? Okay, you got the PDFs, I hope. I just gave you a little bit of a breakdown, like from line 1 to 6. I wasn't going to do 72 lines for you. Most of that, at least 24 lines of that, is going to be coming into your into book 2. Okay, so here's what we got. I explained there's a I believe a 4-measure increment there. The first measure is exactly the way you see it on in stick control book. The second measure is the way we're going to play it as swung, and I gave you the triplet fill-ins on one surface and then against the jazz time. So that's a 4-measure increment on line 1. Did you understand all of that? On the PDFs? Now, is there anything from this afternoon that you don't understand? We'll go over it now. What did you retract? Why did you? Okay. So, you understand the interpretation of the PDFs and what we did this afternoon. It was written out. It does make it easier. But see, that kind of defeats some of the purpose. Some of the purpose is so you could internalize what you're doing. Okay, so let's talk about, let's do the first line, number 1, just so that we can reinforce it. You have the interpretation of stick control book. Okay, you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, I'm going to swing that. It becomes 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we eliminate the lefts and we play just the rights as 1 and 2 and then we fill it in with the triplet. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. So, what I do, how you doing, Horst? You were right about, excuse me 1 second there, Mr. Otterson. You were right about the website. There was an internal error. It's that some things were not uploaded or what you call, they're out of date. They have to be updated. So it's being worked on, and hopefully by Monday we'll be back on 7 p.m. lesson. Now, did you get the PDFs that I just sent out? I don't know if I sent them to you. I only sent a few of them out. All right, so let me finish line 1 first, and then we'll talk a little bit. We understand how it's written, how it's interpreted, and the triplet fill-in. Okay? Then we took it over here, playing the jazz time, and playing all the rights of the bass drum, all the lefts with the snare. Now we understand that. Horst, did you get the PDF? I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to send you the PDF right now if you didn't get it. This way we could have a better lesson. Hold on 1 second, okay? Let me send you the PDF. Okay, I'm back. Check your email. You should be having them in a few minutes, or maybe right now. Hey Jim, how you doing? I'm right here, Jim. I just want to send somebody some PDFs. Hoist, let me know when you get them, all right? Yeah, I know you didn't retract anything. It says, Jimmy, the message was retracted. That's all right. I'm right here, Jim. You get the PDFs? Okay. Now, all three of you that are here, plus there's an additional 3 that are watching that are not in the chat. Now, all of you should have the PDFs. Okay? Horst, let me know when you get the PDFs and I'll start again. Mr. Otterson, do you understand the interpretation? Okay, there you go. See, it's amazing, modern technology. Okay. Jim, you have the PDFs? Okay, thank you, Jim. Anyway, we got the triplet fill-ins. You got that also, Jim? I'm not going to start this again, so tell me whether you have them or not. You have them. Horst has them. Now, what about Jimmy? Okay. Stick control book, straight up and down. First line. 1 and, sorry. First line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the first measurement. What is this? You're all set. All right, so that's the first measure. Actually, you're seeing 1 and 2 and and 3 and 4 and. Now the way we're going to interpret that, instead of straight up and down, is swung. One, and when I swing something, I think of an eighth note triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're reading that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all the downbeats, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the first note of the triplet. You don't play no ands, you're playing the does of the triplet. So all the ands become the does. So the second measure on the PDF is swung. Line 1 is swung. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we understand that, okay? Now, the next move, we see how we're going to interpret the stick control book. Instead of straight up and down, it's swung. Now, the next move, all right, you look at line 1, you're going to eliminate the lefts, and that gives you just the right. So that's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We understand that so far, gentlemen? Yes? No? Do we understand that? Need some or nobody? No, you didn't get a banga. Okay, does everybody understand what I just did? How we're going to interpret the stick control book? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is what you see. So we're going to eliminate. We're going to swing that. Becomes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, Horace, you understand? All right, everybody has it. Okay. So now the next move, when you eliminated the lefts, you just had the rights. And I'm still in a triplet mode. 1, and I'm eliminating the lefts, and I'm counting triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and, okay? That's the interpretation. Now, we're going to make that a straight line of eighth note triplets, but I'm only interpreting 1 and 2, 3 and 4, so I want to make the left hand. Good for you, Joe. Okay, so now we're going to, the blanks we're going to fill in with the triplets. That's where the term comes in, triplet fill-ins. So the first one's a right, 1, now I'm going to fill in the triplet, and the. Then you have 2 and the, 3 and the, 4 and the. Do we understand that? Line 1 now, on one surface. I like to add the bass drum and the hi-hat to this guy. I'm getting 2 different sounds on the snare drum, an accented note and an unaccented note. So I have my bass drum 1, 2, 3, 4, hi-hat 2 and 4. Now I'm containing it to one voice. I like to move that right, the accented note, around the drum set. But I leave the left hand on the snare drum. Now I don't know what your setups are. You know, I have 1 small tom and 2 floors. You might have 2 small toms and 1 floor. So I guess we're set. We have 4 toms. Okay? So for example, the first move you would make, you remember now the bass drum is on 1, 2, 3, 4. The hi-hat's on 2 and 4, and I'm playing it on the snare drum. But this time, instead of me playing the rights on the snare, I'm going to play the rights on the floor tom-tom. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen to that left foot. I'm playing light. Now I'm going to move the right around. See that, gentlemen? Well, Joe, I'm going to be live You know, I don't know why you don't come. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 1 p.m. on YouTube and 7 p.m. on my site. Now, the reason why we're here is I just have a few more things to update. So you will remain here Monday unless you get notification from me, email, which you will, where the location of the lessons will be. So now we understand how I'm moving that around. We understand that. Yes, some, no, some, grow some. Anyway, I feel goofy tonight. Anyway, now that's the second way to interpret it. That's leading to the triplet fills. Well, you're going to use the ride cymbal right now, Jim. See, well, you got to stay to the format of the lesson. And that's good to be creative. That's excellent. Now, you can get this. That's fine. But now, here's what the next move. You know, you learned it on one surface, or moving it around. The next move is to interpret it with the bass drum, eliminating the right hand and using the bass drum like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to go with the ride cymbal, and we're going to play, okay, with the right hand. 1 and 2, again, left foot 2 and 4. Now we're going to play that pattern between the bass drum and the snare drum against the jazz time. You understand it now, Jim? I mean, you could do that's being creative. I'm just giving you a demonstration on the toms. That. But now, because now the next move, this is hard. But look at that right hand. I'm maintaining 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm going to do it's free stroke down. And I play the line. Do we understand it, gentlemen? The important thing here, I mean, everything's important, but the thing that you want to focus on, how you doing, Marcia? The thing you really want to focus in is making it sound as musical as possible. This is mathematical, it's mechanical, I try to make it swing, but we're not playing to any melody right now, okay? So, let me explain the right hand a little bit better. When I play a straight ahead jazz time, there's a couple different, if I'm playing melodically, I'm going to play an open time, okay? It means I'm going to play time, but inside of the time I'm thinking the melody and I'm playing to the melody, okay? That's another platform. The thing is you want to understand mathematically and mechanically what's occurring here. That ride cymbal straight ahead, okay? It's very, very important. What is this? All right, well, we're going to do that, Joe, okay? First off, I don't know if you, first, to do a live stream and have an open, like a round table, for example, or a discussion forum, I have something planned for March the 1st. And it does take a tremendous amount of time to put together. First off, think about it. How do you get 4 drummers, okay, and 2 live out of state, out of New Jersey, to come to this studio on the same day, the same time to do a broadcast? And they're all former students of Morello's. So what we're going to do, it's March the 1st. I'm going to try to make it for 4 p.m. It's a Sunday. All right. And it can house the people who live in Europe, because that would be 11 o'clock. Maybe I'll just up it an hour to 3 o'clock. All right. We have, you hear me talk about the levels, and you understand the basic levels. I have a gentleman called Jeff. His name is Jeffrey Johnson. He's from Virginia. He's the author of the level system. And we're going to talk about his level system, his book. Okay? And Jack Forrester. He wrote another book, A Couple Thousand Ways, Another Way to Do the Table of Time. And plus, he was a former student of Morello's. And so was Jeffrey Johnson. And Alan Herman. The man is brilliant. How he applies the laws of physics to drumming. And what we're going to do is we're going to share with the audience our journeys. Okay? Our journeys with Joe Morello. What he has done for us, and what direction he has taken, what Joe Morello's attitude was towards, other things. It's just going to be one heck of a nice time. I can't pronounce your name. Let me see who this is. How would I, Kemaklan Clan? Is that how I? We could do that, Joe. We could set something up. Would you like to do that? I'll tell you what we're going to do. Joe, why don't you email me your phone number? We'll talk about it. But right now, let me get to the lesson. And for the new gentleman, I'm sorry I can't pronounce John. Okay, if I call you John, I try. I'm gonna put my email in here. Now, the reason why I'm putting my email in there is if you'd like to be added to my mailing list. And what the mailing list does, it tells you the location for the week, or whatever you get on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, what the location of the lessons, where the location of the lessons will be broadcast from. I do 2 broadcasts, one from this site and one from my site. If you email me, I'll send you all the information. Plus, you'll get PDFs and whatever's on the agenda. You get PDFs if needed. So it's up to you. You email me, and I'll put you on my mailing list if you'd like. Anyway, let's get back to the lesson, okay? Joe, that's a good idea. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna email you my phone number. You call me, or I'll call you. All right? Anyway. Do we understand the interpretation of line 1? How I did that? Straight up and down, swung, triplet fill-ins, and playing it against the jazz time. I believe where I K square. What is that? Calling K? Okay, I will, Marcio. Anyway, we're talking about the straight ahead jazz time. Does everybody know what an open time is? Do we all know what an open time is? Standard straight ahead as opposed to open. Hey. That's straight ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's the open time, okay? Let's take this in perspective. First off, this is the mechanics of how you play against the straight ahead jazz pattern. And right now you're mathematically putting triplets or doing all kinds of the laws of probability of triplets, okay, within that realm of the straight ahead time. Now, for example, if I'm playing, like you just asked, the question is, how would I play inside of a melody? Well, I don't know, to be honest with you, how you would play. I could tell you how I would play, okay? But let me stay with the straight ahead time first, and we're going to jump right to that one. For example, let's say, I don't know, let's say Barbra Streisand, if you know who that is or you like her, and she calls you up and says, okay, I want you to play this gig with me. So she does a tune, but she wants a straight ahead jazz tune, and you're playing with a big band. Now, if you don't understand how to read, you know the structure, 8 measures, or you're leading into the bridge, or whatever the tune might be. That's where you're going to be playing ding chong, ding chong, ding chong, ding. So the sections like the trumpets, the saxophone players, the trombone, the piano, and the bass player are all in tune, all in the same zone, and the singer knows where to come in on the A, the B, the bridge, the A again, or whatever it might be. Now, first off, let's talk. Do you understand the reason why? If you play for I don't know, Barbra Streisand, bap, 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 and you play stuff like that, yeah, man, it sounds great musically. It's very creative, but she'll fire your ass because it's not what she wants. It's a straight ahead time. Now, an open time, you're in time. When they say open, it means I'm loosening this up. That's open. I'm in time. I have to be in time to play the music. I'm not playing out of the box or anything like that. So let's take a simple tune. Are you familiar, you guys familiar with, well, there's no such thing as free time, Jim. Okay? It's an open time. There's no free time, man. You're paying your dues here. You have to be in time. If you're not in time, the music doesn't exist unless you're doing something abstract out of the box. And that's not what we're doing. We're playing an open time. If I play free, and there's modulation going on or whatever, but I don't want to go there tonight. I'm just going to explain a little bit about the open time, okay? This is the straight ahead time. Now I could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I still need to be in time. So let me take a tune. I can't play any tunes through this system. And if I did, YouTube would give me a bunch of shit because it's a copyright infringement. I don't know where the hell that shit comes from. So I have to get some play-alongs and try to figure this out, how to put them on this machine. But anyway, I'm going to hum a little bit, a Miles Davis tune. Now, you know, there's Solar, there's the Thelonious Monk, there's Freddie the Freeloader, there's Milestones. We could start with Milestones. That sounds like a little bit, you might be familiar with it. Milestones is a 32-bar tune. If you listen to Milestones on YouTube, Miles is always abstract and crazy. So instead of a 32-bar tune, it's a 40-bar tune because he tags an additional A section on the beginning of the tune, and you get all confused. But if you had a gig and somebody says, okay, Milestones, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, you're A, B, A. Now I'm going to do it straight first so you get the structure of the tune. Bop, 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 bop. Now, I did lay it down first as a straight ahead time, and then I opened it up a little bit. But you see how I strayed away from this? and played. Ba, da, 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 da. I'm playing to the melody. That's an open time. Now, there's no such thing as no time. Everything has a time. Even if you think it's out of time with the tune, it's a time. So we'll have a whole lesson on that. That's pretty abstract. And as a matter of fact, when Alan Herman is here on the 1st, we could sort of talk about that. Because I was there at the recording studio with him when he did this, excuse me. He has a CD called Out of the Box. Now, out of the box means, man, it's out there. It's abstract. And to really listen to that tune the CD, and you get the most out of it is listening through headphones. And maybe having a couple beers and a dupe or whatever. But it's pretty abstract, but it sounds great. That's like out of the box with no time. Shit just keeps coming in and out. But even the stuff that comes in and the stuff that comes out, okay, has a time. It's related somewhere to something. It has to have a time to make sense. That's abstract. Who's Ken? So I like to wear black. I mean, I could wear red, I could wear green, I could wear beige. I like to wear black. What's this? You're in Turkey, huh? Don't forget to email me there, John. Okay, do we understand so far what I'm talking about, the open time, how I just did that? I don't want to do a whole lesson on that right now. I just want to do the triplet fill-ins. You guys take me off to see the wizard, Mr. Joe Shields. Oh yeah, I can call him Ken instead of John. But does everybody understand what I mean about the open time compared to? And Ken, you don't have the PDFs. I didn't send. I just randomly sent them. I apologize if you don't get them. All right. Well, the coffee mug's black. I got white ones too, and yeah, I got white ones and I got black ones and brown ones. It don't really matter. But the free time. Before you can free something up, you have to be able to play it. Okay, so what you got here, and these guys that are out there professing, I always learn from somebody and I always remain humble. But when somebody screws something up or doesn't make any sense, whether it's publicly or privately, I will just lay it out there. I don't really care. Okay? And let me share this with you. And I think I shared it one time before for some of the guys. I went to a drum clinic and we were talking, the gentleman who was doing the clinic was talking about playing over the line. Now that's another whole issue, playing over the line. There's modulation there and whatever. So he stated, when I play over the line, I don't care where the one is. And I said, well, what is he talking about? If he doesn't know where one is, then there is no line to play over. And I brought it to his attention. He didn't know how to answer that. Not that I wanted to belittle him, but hey, you do a clinic, you share different thoughts and knowledge with other drummers. So I shared that with him. He didn't know where to go. His response to that, well, he's going to do some research on it. And I didn't mean to belittle him, but he just said it. And there's young guys in there, in the audience, he's talking to, and trying to motivate them and give them inspiration. That's bullshit. There was another time. No, I don't want to. I'm a mean person. I'm not a mean person. I just. I'm just sorry. It's just like, there's a right and there's a wrong. It's not right to kill somebody, and it's not wrong to kill somebody either, unless, I don't want to get, I'm crazy tonight. Anyway, I just dislike these teachers who think they're teachers and throwing shit out there, and it works for them. You know, that's bullshit. Like I continually say, there's no right or wrong way to play a tune, how you feel. It's an emotional thing. That's how you feel. You know, a drum teacher can only inspire you to tell you how he feels about different things and only teach you how to execute with a minimal amount of effort and to develop the great sound and speed and dynamics and whatever. But I can't put that into a tune unless I play a tune. And the same thing with you. So how I hear the tune and how I play the tune is going to be completely different than you. We might maintain the same parameters. But hey, nobody could teach you to play, nor groove. Okay. You remember that story. Okay, Joe. All right, let's get back to line 2 of the PDF. Man, do I go off like the 4th of July. Line 2 of the PDF you got tonight. And I'm going to send them to whoever didn't get it. I know Marcio didn't get it, and Ken and Joe. I'll send them to you tonight. It's only 6 lines of this interpretation. Line 2, stick control book, line 2 would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's what's written. That's how you see it. Okay? Now we're going to swing that. And what I just played, the way it was written was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There's no such thing as molar. I don't want to ever hear that word. That's bullshit. Anyway, we're going to swing the line. So like I said in the beginning, I think of eighth note triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Well, no, that's not true there, Joe. Sanford Moeller, and that's M-O-L-L-E-R, if there wasn't Jim Chapin. Jim Chapin, you know, studied with Sanford Moeller, and Sanford Moeller studied with a Civil War drummer. That's where that ridiculous technique comes, arm technique, and he gets the whip and whatever. And, you know, that's the laws of physics. That's all it is. It's not that it's wrong technique. It's not Moeller. It's not Stone. It's not Adler. It's not Morello. It's not Chapin. It's the laws of physics. And I got into that, and I'm going to make a video on that. And I'm going to get a lot of badass I'm going to get all kinds of shit with that. Now back to line 2. Come on, guys. Line 2, what we have, all right, is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to now interpret it swung. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now get used to that interpretation because there's a lot of different things we're going to do with that interpretation. This is one of them. Now I eliminate the lefts. So I'm going to have in line 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And now I fill in the triplet of the eighth note triplet, the balance of the eighth note triplet. So line 2 would be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Understand that, gentlemen? Page 5 of the stick control book. Okay, so now we understand line 1 and line 2. And like I say, I contain them for instructional reasons just on one surface. I'm going to do line 1, 2 measures, and I'm going to go to line 2, 2 measures, and back to line 1 on the snare drum. So on and so forth. Yeah, I sure did, Joe. I sure did say that. So now we have line 1 and line 2, okay? On one surface. What I like to do is move it around. So I'm going to take line 1 and line 2, and I'm going to move it around onto my tom-tom. Okay? I'll do it a little slow, and then I'll pick up the tempo somewhat. But on this exercise, you'll see you hear my bass drum, 1, 2, 3, 4, my left foot, heel, and toe. 1, 2, line 2. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1. Ah. Do we understand that? You lose, right? Exactly. So here we go. I'm going to take it up a little bit, line 1 and line 2. Here we go. 1. Just having a little fun. I go now. The next move is to take line 2, utilizing the straight ahead jazz pattern, playing the rights now with the bass drum and the lefts on the snare drum. Now look at that right hand. Okay? We have free stroke, down, a free stroke, down, a free stroke, down. I'm thinking triplets. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3. Now I'm going to play the lefts on the snare and all the rights on the bass drum, line 2. Line 1 and line 2. 2 measures, line 1. Line 2, 2 measures. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. We understand that? Now, don't become discouraged if you can't get this in. If you can't get that in, just play the quarter notes. That will eventually go in. You know, I've been promising Dave Stanek to do a lesson from him, and he has that metric modulation, and this is good for that. So I got to get to it, man. There's just so much to do. Let's do line 3. We understand the interpretation, straight up and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now we're going to swing it. 1 and the 2 and the 4 and the 1 and the 2. And we're going to now use... Well, you could use a syncopation, but we're using the stick control book. This is line 3. You'll see when I send you the PDFs. Okay? Line 3. We're going to fill in the blank with the balance of the triplet with the left hand. Okay, so we have now 1 and the 2 and the 3. Move it around. Have fun with it. Okay, now, the next move is this. Actually, before you hit the ride cymbal, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I get distracted with all these, not questions, but me bullshitting, and I apologize. The next move would be, instead of playing the one surface or the tom-toms, like line 3, we're going to substitute the right hand. We're going to use the bass drum as in its place. Okay? Now, we're going to play next the jazz pattern. Nice and slow. We're using line 3. Do understand that? Silence there. What do you mean? What are you talking about? You can practice them on a drum pad. You can practice them on the table, the floor. Don't practice on a pillow. Now, you don't practice on a pillow. It'll hurt your hands. I'm going to send it to you, Marcio. You play on a drum set. You want to get the sound going on, make it musical. The third line. Okay, I'm going to skip the fourth line, and I'm just going to go to the fifth line, and I'm going to call it a night. I will send you those PDFs that helped you out, Mr. Otterson, correct? You're starting to see it all come together with that. Okay, let's do line 5. It's a single paradiddle. All right? It's an alternating paradiddle. Right, left, right, left, left. So now, we have line 5 straight up and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to swing the line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to eliminate the lefts and just play the rights. So we have 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Sorry. Now, we're going to eliminate, we're going to do the triplet fill-ins. We're going to fill in the blank with the remainder of the eighth note triplet. So line 5 would be 1 and 2 and 3 and. I'm talking about melodically. I played harmony with the bass drum and the snare drum. I'm just goofing off. So next move, instead of playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you're going to take the bass drum, use the bass drum in the right hand's part. 1. Got it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it gets the jazz time. That's not easy here. You're playing a jazz pattern. Free stroke down, a free stroke down. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. 2, 3, 4. Ba-da, ba-ba, ba, 4. Free stroke down, free stroke down. I'm laying the time down. Line 1. Line 2. Line 5. Ah, you son of a gun. Hold on. Do we all understand that, gentlemen? Marcio, I'm going to send you the PDFs as soon as the lesson is over. No, you won't, Ken. I'm sorry. Ken, and I'm going to send you the PDFs as soon as the lesson is over. How's that sound? I didn't want to make that a lesson, but I was convinced this afternoon to do that. I think Robert Wallman is still practicing from this afternoon, which is a good thing. I guess it's inspirational. And I like the guy's attitudes. You know, when they can't get something, they just keep doing it until they can. And that's the great attitude. That's what it's all about. We all understand it. It's all helped us go to another dimension, and another door has opened up for us. That straight ahead jazz pattern, man, if you want to play jazz, you want to play not a free kind of jazz, but melodically. Yeah, well, it's not that it's rough. At first, it's brand new, Jim. So take one at a time. Now, you don't have to play one, you know, you're playing number one real slow, then you wait until you get it at 3,000 beats per minute. You feel good with line one and it's flowing, go to line two. Then play line one and line two, line one and line two. And do that all, so on and so forth. I only gave you 6 lines on that. And like I said, in the workbook number 2, you're going to have 24, maybe 30 lines of that. And there's so much more coming. I don't know where to start with that book. I mean, there's so much to do. Anyway, Mr. Shields, you've given me a good idea here. You know, everybody can come into the lesson, you know, and you know, we can have a discussion between you and I, but anybody who wants to join in can. And like I said, I'm going to email you my phone number. If you'd like to give me a holler, we'll talk about it. And how does that sound, guys? Does that sound like something you guys would be interested in? And we'll do this on an off time as opposed to the lesson time. What do you think, guys? I mean, I'm not blank for any lessons, trust me. But sometimes to get away from, we got to go into the workbook number 1. Marcio, if you want workbook number 1, I'll send them to you in PDFs, but you're going to need to send me something. Like $20? For me to send you the package, it'll cost about $60. So would you be interested in purchasing the PDFs for book 1? Yes, no, maybe, by chance, perhaps. Okay, I gotta go. I'm tired. And as you can see, Mr. Otterson, my day is full from 1 o'clock. And to write 6 lines, and that's like 3, 4 different varieties, 24 different measures, and print them out and put them in PDFs and whatever, takes a long time, plus my students. So sometimes I don't remember everything I should do. Come on, where'd you go? I'll tell you. Where is it? No, this is under the t-shirt. What does this say now? Okay, good night, guys. And Joe, I'm going to send you my phone number. And Marcio and Mr. Bison, I'm going to send you the PDFs. And if you have any questions on it, give me a holler. Okay? I'm going to say good night. You will get an email before Monday where the location of the lessons are going to be. Definitely on YouTube. If he has updated my website completely, then we're going to go there in the evening. Okay? Any questions? Last call. Good night, Jim. And thank you. Good night. Have a good and productive weekend. And just feel free to email me if you have a problem with the lesson. I will try to help you. It might even get to a point where, sir, I get on YouTube and I'll give you a free lesson. Okay, guys? All right, let's have a good night and a good weekend. Okie doke.